All right, folks, welcome back. We're getting into game number 1 here in the semifinals. As said, I thought, yeah, these guys were waiting a little bit longer, so they finished first. They get to go first. In the top right, we have the blue Terran. Nope, excuse me, blue Protoss. As I'm swapping the nameplates around here. You saw me mess that up 5 times. I've never mixed it up that many times. It's going to be the blue Creator. Shout out to Jin Air letting their players play and stuff.
I do wonder about that. In the bottom left, as the red Terran, it is jjakji.
I mean, we're seeing Cure more consistently all over the place. Creator does pop up once in a while. Rogue even now once in the last couple of tournaments too.
I mean, right. Creator is that guy that's popped up often enough in the past months that I'm like, I can't even forget that he's on Jin Air, to be honest. SOS would pop up if he was invited and he had time to talk to his team. But Rogue and Cure are the guys that I'm like, okay, there must have been some type of like gate release that they were like, yeah, we don't care anymore. They have these guys consistently and like recently come in to play again.
I guess for those who don't even know, even though it's a trusted league like the Olimoleague, or maybe we're inviting them to something bigger like Ting, generally speaking, Jin Air players are the only team, like, they still operate as if Kespo was a thing, and you're not allowed to play in foreign tournaments. You're not allowed to do stuff outside of practicing with your team. They're still,
well, that's not entirely true. I was gonna say, like, Jin Air is like really the one team. What cheese going on? The one team that's still, you know, their other teams are very much so in that regimen, the Korean regimen, you know, their League of Legends team or whatever else they have. I don't know if they have anything else. But then I thought, like, well, Splice is actually a pretty huge team and blah, 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 but not Korean, so maybe my point still stands. Anyway, this SCV is a pretty good scout. It's going to see that something is amiss. No natural.
No second pylon, and that's the biggest red flag of all. I mean, even if you don't know, like, sometimes scouting can be really tough because you don't know what to not look for rather than what to look for, and that's not going to be the case here. The second pylon is one of the most essential things in the game, and it's a double rope. Who was calling for the SOS proxy earlier, right, in chat? Like,
where's that guy? Go give him a couple bits, something. I don't know. He predicted the future, but it's not SOS. It's his teammate, Creator.
Or maybe it is SOS on Creator's name.
Oh, is that what's going to happen?
Well, if it's super against terms of service, he's gonna get banned.
Well, I think at this point everyone knows everyone plays on each other's accounts.
Yeah, but you're actually not allowed to. Like, I know we're making that sound blasé, guys, because it really is unfortunately a common thing, but it's super not allowed, and if you do, you will get in trouble. Like, Blizzard's had no problem banning people.
People are usually pretty smart about not doing it in a tournament, but you'll hear all the time about how, like, oh, we share that account, or like I was using that account for like a ladder practice or something. Anywho, so the trick though, kind of along with like a Terran's open, like a cheesy opener 1-1-1, is like, all right, so it's scouted. The chances were high it was going to be scouted because even a Reaper would have scouted by now and seen everything, right? But what is it exactly? Like, is it the Stargate and then they expand, or is it a double robo and they all in?
Josh was expecting the pylon attack. I mean, the bunker on the low ground really only solves that one move, and it's fine. He realizes time passes, he salvages, but maybe a bunker on the high ground would help so much, but he's not going to know, and he won't know. And the SCV took a small weird path, and it didn't see anything, so as he comes across the map, it's going to be horrible and terrifying seeing no Nexus down.
Right, yeah, because if it was just the pylon rush into a Stargate, there'd be a Nexus coming down soon enough. But not already, so there's gotta be even more suspicion, and well, hey, there's a couple mortals, there you go. Funny enough, this isn't supported by very much. You know, it is just the Immortals, but they're so tanky, you know, even if you try and play micro with their shield, it's still a lot of health there.
Not to mention, look at the range right now. The Marines actually can't get in there to shoot them properly.
The Widowmines are gonna be microed out of the way, so it might not even be any consequence whatsoever. Unfortunately, there's not many better things you can get from that factory. You know, you get a tank and the Immortals just get dropped on top of
it. Yeah, the Warfare is definitely the worst part of this, but so many SCVs have died that this is now kind of worth it for a Creator. Even if he were to get cleaned up, he could plop down the Nexus and be in a fairly reasonable position. But we've been just taking everything he can from jjakji, whether it's a supply depot or a reactor. Like, this is just savage.
It is. Liberator is obviously a good choice. There's not really much that shoots up here, but then a Viking would probably be a better second choice, just to kind try and shoot down that Warp Prism, stop it from microing out those Widow Mines. Did not see that. Neither did Creator.
Tank's also hitting a couple shots over here. Mortal could technically be saved. That's 6-yard pickup, but
yeah. So 1 or 2 missed micros from Creator so far. Not the most perfect execution. You know, it took some splash from the Widow Mine. He just got hit by a Widow Mine.
I mean, cost efficiently, Creator. It should be
good.
jjakji, but Creator's the one who's actually rocking the cost efficiency this game.
Scanning that Observer was probably really worth the chances he's gonna make another one. It's unfortunately high because it's a double robo, but if it's like a single one, for instance, that'd be a lot of time spent. I think he didn't want to make.
Warp Resistance is just committing with kills. Okay, so jjakji's on 2 command centers, not 3. So it's already a hard enough economic recovery. Then he's down to 14 workers too. This is just not a great spot for him.
But Creator's only on 1 base still, and jjakji knows that, by the way. Like, I still think 14 workers is not devastating. Oh, hey, what's up? Yeah. But 14 workers is not devastating.
Actually, I think Creator just lost the game.
I think he might have lost it even without the Liberator there. His army gets kind of torn apart. Oh, maybe. Oh, these are 2 Immortals. They could take out all the tanks and the bunker. No, not quite that way, no.
Well, I'm a little surprised he didn't just set up on the Nexus rather than the minerals. But Creator lost that oomph he had going for him.
Yeah. He loses the army, then jjakji takes the natural, and then the economy starts ramping up again, and it's like, yeah, Creator might have had a macro game in himself by killing so many SCVs.
So you should go for that tech lab, stop tanks from getting made.
That game's still not over. A lot of micro with that new Warp Prism.
No energy to photon overcharge the almost dead Liberator, so all kinds of money denied.
Now he's just straight up denying as much mineral income as possible.
Both players are, really.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the starving game.
You know, jjakji needs minerals for repairs, I'm thinking of right now. He's gonna run out of minerals for it. Should lift the natural command center and try and start muling there.
I can't believe he's kept this Immortal alive. He keeps clicking that thing. Rapid fire clicks. Helps take out the tank.
No.
Now it's just a couple Marines. I think the new Warpin should handle this.
jjakji has 0 money.
Oh my god, he lost the Liberator that was denying this. So Creator just goes back to mining. Forget what I said about Creator, guys. He manages to actually squeeze out a victory.
Yeah, he does. That Banshee does not have Cloak, and the repair is limited without minerals. That's silly. But the Creator, like, just circumventing, you know, what was a very structured army, and then I mean, he did eventually take that bunker on, eventually took the tank on too, but the Warp Prism micro.
Oh my god. It's actually so sick. I can't believe that Stalker lived.
It's such a good part of that push.
I'm sorry guys, I took my hands off the keyboard and mouse, just like I was covering my mouth at the end there. I'm like, I can't believe that this is gonna live.
He must have gone through like 6 Immortals though. That's a lot.
You know what? I could have hit Shift L if I had realized. Yeah, I'm really curious how many he would, because it's double robo production. One of the weirdest things like to watch a build like that do though is you brought it up earlier. There's not a lot to actually like be fodder, can soak hits. Like it's mostly just the Immortals. And my fear was like maybe getting cleaned up, Liberator counterattack, and that's just it. There's no chance to recover. But very clearly there was, and very clearly he did.
Yeah. Got around, denied mining.
I was the Twitch chat GM, dude. I was just trying to make my calls. Didn't matter whether it was right or wrong.
That was a crazy game. It's really just so much about the Warp Prism micro that when the Warp Prism got shot and almost died, that's when I was like, oh, I'm not sure this is going to work anymore.
Yeah.
But ended up being fine. Second Warp Prism came eventually, full health, good micro.
Actually really sad. It's raining outside, but it's getting sunny, which means it'll be done raining by the time we're done. I love the rain, man.
Why is that a bad? Oh, I was gonna say. You're gonna go back to sleep, and then rain's the way to go.
Yeah, I was actually sitting here fantasizing about just like leaving the door open just a crack so all the sound comes in, and then just like sleep.
I get you.
All right, game number 2 on Abyssal Reef.
What are the weather supposed to be like in Seoul? Not as hot as Georgia.
I don't think anything's as hot as Georgia. Man, that was rough.
I don't know. It's getting kind of close. 93 degrees. It's pretty hot.
He's not staying at home, ladies and gentlemen. Some dirty tricks are afoot. He is one of my favorite proxying Terrans, which makes me wish this was Sequencer, but we got the blue Terran jjakji fighting for his life.
In the bottom right, as the red Protoss, it's Creator. About to get a taste of his own medicine, a little bit.
Well, so jjakji is a very gross Terran, as in he can pull these off really well. My favorite version of his is not these cyclones that people have been really doing a lot of. It's because you do like Cyclone to Liberate or whatever, right? I really like his tank pushes that come down with the proxies, but I don't think Abyssal Reef is the map for it, unfortunately.
Well, it'd be awkward from this position, especially. Like if he was proxying off to the left, then you use the natural ramp against the Protoss player, but this one would be using the choke, which is just, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen here in this game. But
One thing he could do, actually, because the main is big enough for it on Abyssal, if you put the factory next to the ledge, you can lift it up and just proxy it in the main, and it won't get scouted. Ideally.
Yeah, usually I feel that's something where they... I don't know, like, we'll see what the factory placement is, I guess, right?
You know what
like,
kills me? We'll watch a ton of pros play, and I'll get inspired to do it. And like, it'll be one of those days, like 3 months ago, where Josh, she did like the factory pickup to the main, right? And I'll go on ladder and emulate. And as soon as I lift up the building, I see there's like a pylon and like 7 cannons waiting for. Like everyone's just always ready for it when pros never are. And it's like I can never pull these builds off when I try and do them.
He puts the factory over here. You know, he might just do a real tank push, but
this actually completely, because if he had put the factory over here, it would have been in line of sight of the probe.
Your probes are under attack.
Yes, it would have. Creator, though, knows something is up. That's why he's scouting so diligently with the other probe. He scouted the main, so eventually he will find... Well, now he knows his proxy build. I mean, Creeper, obviously.
This is so cheeky. I love this, the way he moves the factory over. I mean, he's done this before, too, where the factory goes nowhere near the starport and then never goes near the barracks, but that probe should have scouted where this was like 3 times over now, and he's still just running around at the top. Still hasn't seen that barracks, by the way. Look how close that got. Oh my god, there we go. Finally.
Even if you scout it, you know, it's always like, what can you really do? You don't usually want to send your zealot out there because it's going to get kited down. And eventually a cyclone could come into play, which is exactly what's happening here. So you don't really want to send your stalker or a depth out either. Creator knows all about this, by the way. Like, he's just scouted no production facilities back in jjakji's base. His probe is still circling around that.
It's no longer a question of, like, is there a proxy, right? But there is an actual question of here, how much did he commit to the proxy? Like, a lot of time, factory goes down at home. Starport goes down at home, even if you proxy that barracks.
Well, he knows, yeah. And he knows the answer to that. Well, he should be taking this as seriously as possible.
Let's trouble chipping through the light armored zealots. Of course, with all the SCV, well, the SCV on the front line, you can repair that up. And yeah, Cyclone Liberator, like I said, is a very common way that people will do these proxies.
The probe finally leaves the main base, by the way. It's like, okay, I think I know what's happening. I think I got it.
I really want to click it back in so badly.
That is just not a lot of units from jjakji. Or shoot, from Creator, whoopsie.
There's not a lot of units from jjakji either, though, in fairness.
Well, it was like 6 units, now 4, 5. But the Cyclones were a lot scarier. That one overcharge was a massive help.
This is cool. Okay, so he had a choice. He can bring the Cyclone to help clean up whatever this ragtag unit was, or he can just ignore it and go for the attack. Knocking on the pylon means no more overcharges down here, meaning all follow-up and subsequent attacks are a lot easier.
Let's see, where's that Liberator? Seen by Creator, but what can you really do about it? He still doesn't have Warp Gate. He's been chronoing everything else out, not his Warp Gate, so Stalkers to run back home. I think jjakji can still manage to place that Liberator. Just like, if anything, just leave it there, right? Like, you just distracted 2 Stalkers. You're both on very limited units right now.
Yeah, not a bad point. Does kill the mothership core. This really hurts.
Oh no, the pylon. The pylon is gonna go down when the mortal pops out. Cyclones, man.
Such a huge deny.
Yeah. He does instantly place another pylon down while chasing these Cyclones off temporarily, but that Liberator looks like it has maybe denied a lot of mining, and then it has. It's moved up a little tiny bit.
Probes have been spending a long time just running around.
Oh, okay. I thought it maybe depowered Warp Gate. It didn't. But funnily enough, it depowered the only like Warp Gate he was gonna have. Alright, now it's back up. It's working. Turn along.
Well, Liberator's providing high ground, even if not killing much. The Nexus does die, and of course, jjakji continues with the attack, so his natural base is completing as we speak.
This Liberator getting any shots at all is pretty bad creator.
Mothership Core shouldn't be floating this far over. She might get a kill on the Cyclone,
Yeah,
but 2 of them could just lock onto it.
She really wanted that kill. Can I try and cover the Cyclone?
Ah, Mothership
Try and
Core.
take out the Mothership.
Yeah. Very expensive loss.
Yeah, that Liberator usually not used for anti-air. Just barely enough to save every unit left over here. It's going to run on back home. Barracks have been added. Production facilities being landed. And Creator, well, usually his one hope would be just to kind of counter all in. But without a Warp Prism, I don't think it's possible.
Not to mention jjakji is putting bunkers and stuff down. He's playing it real safe.
Aw, little SimCity he has.
Well, Mass repairs the Cyclones. He knows just how important they would be to an immediate counterattack. But this kind of actually takes me back to our DreamHack finals, right? So I asked True at the after party, I'm like, or not True, excuse me, Masa. I'm like, were you aware that you took him down to 2 drones, right? And he's like, well, I knew he was low, but I was thinking it was more like 10 or 11, not like 2. And I kind of got to imagine it's going to be somewhat the same here for these guys. Like, you know you're ahead, but you don't know exactly how much, so you can't take risks. Playing it safe, smart, and slow is a better way to surefire guarantee a win.
Yeah. Well, any damage done. Like I say, killing a Stalker. It's really good. Almost killing the second one.
Poor
And an Immortal? Yeah, he just kept on walking when everyone else left him. He's gonna live, though.
jjakji, to note, playing bio and not doing something really weird behind it. So, I mean, like, that stim timing is going to be finishing up in just a moment, and that should be a really good setup for a push. Double Cyclone actually going to be dropped in the main while this goes on, too. So, if the front line is just an excellent distraction, those Cyclones will shred probes.
A lot of options for jjakji's attack. Probably just brute force it, too, but a little bit of finesse. Yeah, get probes, cancel production, scout the Dark Shrine. Okay.
Good, he steps out. It's a smart move, too. jjakji really running away with that game and ties it up now 1-1. All right, well, we would normally do an ad break here. I'm not sure if we'll have time to, so we're going to quickly make that 3rd game. So just taking the time to quickly say thank you, Nervoth, by the way, for the bits earlier. Koreans might steal all our money, but we still got a few bits left here and there. Heart the interviews. Oh, thank you, dude. BMW Nick hit us up with a 5-month resub. Thanks for coming back. Where's Zag for 4 says Hedge guys Knack from Homestory Cup finally can watch you. Oh, he's probably saying, hey guys, I'm back from Homestory Cup. But he's probably typing on his phone because just like me, makes a bunch of big fat finger typos that I recognize all too well.
Sure, yeah. That's probably it.
There's a dude on Twitter. I saw it while we were at DreamHack, but my Wi-Fi was super limited and the data was being spotty inside, so I don't remember who it was. Someone actually wore the dumb hoi 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 shirt to Homestory Cup. Very disappointing.
Of course, people wore it to Atlanta.
Yes.
Popular.
That too, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I do kind of wish Penguin had made the semifinals though. He told me he was gonna like wear that shirt up on stage if he did. I'm like, you wouldn't.
Yeah, that would be pretty good. It kind of reminds me of like when I was younger. I had this school project where you're supposed to like give this like little like guy, like you made like a guy a bunch of like construction paper, and you gave it to someone and they were supposed to take pictures and send it back. I don't remember why, so don't ask. But that's what we had to do. So I sent it to my au pair, who was actually in like England. He had gone back to England. And he took like a bunch of pictures everywhere, right, with this like little guy, because my au pair was awesome. Okay, that's what I imagine the hoi 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 shirt is. To be honest, I'm just like, where am I gonna find the hoi 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 shirt today? Germany. Wow.
It's like geotagging with people.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, game number 3 with things tied up 1-1. Spawning here in the bottom right, we have the blue Protoss, Jin Air's creator.
In the top left as the red Terran, he is jjakji.
Quick howdy to Riamar in chat. Good to see you. Good to see.
Wait,
you.
is that how they pronounce? Is that how they want that clan pronounced?
Which clan?
Obviously, it's Neo, jjakji's, but the way that they spell it in the Hangul is Neo.
Neo Geo.
Well, that's yeah, that was a very early probe scout, but apparently just a scout. Probe's the scariest thing in the Protoss army.
I don't know if we can get some help on this poor guy, but Dorian Manhattan's desperately trying to see if anyone else from New York is tuning in. So, guess he'll let us know in chat if that's the case. It's a day late and he's not here, but also just a, I guess, a late birthday shout out to Panic Switch.
Oh.
He actually helped a ton with some of the stuff that happened in Atlanta by Amazon priming some equipment to us, so mucho appreciated.
That was very nice of him.
And I tried to give him a compliment yesterday, say have a great day, have a good birthday, you're one of the best people I know, blah, blah, blah. Nice things, right?
Sure.
Responds by calling my Photoshop low quality.
Oh.
In reference
That's
to
not
a
nice.
picture of a bag of dicks I sent Zam on his birthday like 3 years ago.
I never got you the eggplant you sent me.
I know, I'm so sad about
What
that
if it's
because
just
other
like
people
rotting
did too.
somewhere in the mail? It's kind of gross.
It's in the wrong Trinega mailbox across the country.
Yeah, there's a lot of it.
Because that's how mail works too. They go by name and not postal code, right? Like, oh
Yeah.
shit, Riamar, 3,000 bits. Thank you kindly.
Oh, thank you.
It's good to hear that Final Fantasy music again.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we have a normal macro game, but they both didn't believe it. So we had created with a very early probe scout, and now jjakji looking his hardest for any pylons that could be around with this Reaper.
Just occurred to me too. I didn't register with me until that last game, but both players won their game through proxies. And then we have game 3 go down and nobody proxies.
Yep. Oh, the Reaper's found by the Adepts. Yeah, this continued on. Where'd it go? But still died. Yeah, okay. Just kidding. That's a nice sketch.
Oh my god,
I don't
it
see
is.
that.
His head literally got blown off.
That's a really nice catch by Creator. Jjakji not able to scout what the tech is. It's a good guess that it's a Stargate, but it's not a guarantee anymore like it was months ago. I mean, it's still like, I want to say 80% of builds, but at one point it was 100% every single time. So no scout on the Stargate.
He just made a little man. Oh, before Creator scouted, there's like a little man on the mini-map. Those were his legs. Those are his arms. That's like his sideways face, his Joshi's base.
Sure. But I was going to say, jjakji at least scouts the fast third. And that fast third, that 4-minute third right there, I think that tells you there's a Stargate. I can't think of any other like builds that really have that fast of a third.
Other than skipping production buildings, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anyone does that
You're
anymore.
like, I chose not to build any gateways so I could get a third up in 3 minutes.
I think maybe in Wings of Liberty there was a build where you just expanded twice off of one gateway and then added like 12 gateways 6 minutes later. It was something insane, and it did kill a couple of Terrans. Hated it.
Well,
I don't think that happens anymore.
That's where I always get, like, it's a little bit weird. I know everyone else, you watch the game, you learn from them, you're like, okay, spend money better, don't ever bank above a blank amount. But Protoss are like the one race that really can, right? Like, say you take a third Nexus and your gateway's really late, so you're banking like 2k minerals. Well, the point is you got 10 gateways, boom, warp in. There you go.
I mean, it's not as clear cut as that.
No, but I mean, like, it's just interesting to think about, like, these faster, like a 4-minute Nexus. Like, yeah, it's like a really fast Nexus, but this leads to a lot of potential power through money.
There's actually, like, there's been a couple of plays, even by pro gamers, and that's like their job is kind of not to be caught in this conundrum. But certainly, if you watch like Masters play with Diamond players, well, they'll get this really baller economy. They've learned to make workers at that point, right? And then they won't time their production correctly. So they'll have 70 workers at 7 minutes or 6 minutes, something like that, right? And then they won't be able to spend their money. So they'll add on more gateways. And then they'll have too many gateways. They won't be able to spend all the gateways, you know? It's a conundrum. There's still a lot of precise timing around it. As Creator's doing, 5 gateways finishing up, +1 charge. This charge is the norm nowadays. I like it better.
I think it's way better against Terran anyways. Like, Adepts do pretty good damage to Marines, but so-so against Marauders, where Zealots are just universally good if they get to connect. So, body slam in, you get that 8 damage, swipe away.
Pretty fast Templar Archives.
Actually, just thinking, like, charge is kind of crazy against Marines. It's almost like reverse combat shields. Because the thing is, you know they're going to stim, 10 health off. You're going to hit them for 8 just by charging in. Like, Marines are suddenly at, like, half health before the fight really starts.
Oh, random Widow Mines. Gonna be bothered to take care of the Marines, I guess. Yeah, limited scouting for the Terran. Oracle does not get a cast Revelation.
Creator's on a kind of low army supply right now, but Phoenixes are really good and very versatile, so if done correctly, I don't think this push out of jjakji, regardless of how big it is, should kill him. Oh, that was kind of cool. I like that. He's picking up the units they're trying to set off the trap.
Yeah, but you know, also the kudos to jjakji for trying to send something forward to set off the trap. He knows it's there, man.
Yeah.
He triggers it. There was only one Oracle, so chances were that was the only one, or maybe there's two, but the other one didn't put anything down. So he scans ahead. Brought SCVs here to put missile turrets up. The Force Field's caught a lot of the Marauders, but the Marines managed to dodge around.
And that Widowmine shot there at the end, taking out most of the Phoenix, was huge. For Creator, the Phoenix was the only thing he really had going for him, and now he's just down to supply, period.
Yeah. But if Creator holds, jjakji has no more upgrades on the way and no third command center. So, if he could. But it's going to be tough. That's a lot of Widow Mines. They're not being cleaned up. A Liberator now joins in. So, lordy.
I don't know, man. I think this might be a bit much. This Widow Mines from earlier now off cooldown, ready to fire again. The missile turrets will keep back those Phoenix and the Oracle.
Yeah, the best thing that Phoenixes can do now is just try and suicide all the Widow Mines onto them, right? Like, you hit the bio, hit the Liberator.
What is this copy past in chat right now? Nexus is going to absolutely go down here. He almost got a lot of Phoenix for it too. Creator finally decides to abandon ship on the base, but it took him so long to do so. Didn't really buy himself any time.
Yeah, you know, he took a couple of fights is the biggest problem in my eyes. It's one thing to lose a base, usually bad, but it's one thing, and it's another to lose the base and a lot of your army. He's not really looking forward to anything either, you know, with the... You could say that if he had a third base, it'd just be like a mass amount of units, but now he's going to run in here and get taken out yet again. This is going to be his last defense. It's not going to work.
GG. jjakji moves on to the finals with a very nice 2-1. But now we get that 4 and hype, guys. Other side of the bracket, Nurture vs. Myungsick, ZVP. When we get back, we'll start that series. We'll see you soon.